Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Lori here at Animating Lori, and this video is about our move to Montana, which kind of transpired about a year ago. So sit back and join me for the video, the scenery, and the little glitch that led to me knowing that I'd found home. As we get started, it's a short drive from where we were in Florida to the Alabama state line. It was about 30 miles, two different directions, and you'll shortly see us going through a small town called Brewton, Alabama, which is home of my favorite meteorologist, Spinks Mickelson. He's just fantastic. My goal this first day was to make it to Illinois, and so after I left Florida in the Panhandle there, I drove until I got to Fort Campbell, Hopkinsville, Kentucky before stopping. I was hoping to get through Nashville before rush hour, which did not happen. I think Nashville is worse than LA these days. And so anyway, then I get through Nashville. I hadn't stopped to pee, get gas, anything since leaving Florida. And there's road construction and traffic's at a dead stop. I wasn't too panicked because I knew there was a gas station at the Hopkinsville Fort Campbell's exit because I had traveled between Alabama and Illinois multiple times as a kid. What I failed to take into consideration is that the road had moved, and what I mean by that was it used to be a toll road and then they made it a freeway, so the exit is actually an exit sooner and the gas station wasn't where I thought, so I was panicking. I think I had a half gallon of gas left when I got gas. So that was kind of pushing it a lot more than I wanted to. Anyways, I did make it into my mom's that evening, and I spent some time with my mom and my dad on my way up to Montana a day or two, and then I started driving again. And so you won't see a lot of video from Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois. For some reason, I just didn't get it, whether it was the rain or it got dark on me. So I started out from my mom's, and I got a late start, and I was headed to Montana, made a stop and visited with my stepmother in Champaign, and got on the road. And then I got somewhere between, somewhere in Wisconsin, just about to cross over into Minnesota, and this guy fell out. It was like buckets of rain. All I could do was follow this car into the rest area. Anyway, so I followed its taillights and parked directly behind it. Didn't even try to do anything else. Crawled in the back, tried to sleep. I couldn't. It was just too humid. I got out, and I was really not comfortable with a lot of the people there. And so I ended up just going ahead and leaving, and I drove to somewhere between St. Paul and St. Cloud, and there was a really nice rest area where you'll see the Mississippi Headwaters sign in the video. And then we're going to have a long drive across North Dakota, which was much prettier than I thought. And I was excited to get to Montana, but then Glendive was my first stop. Although I'd been to Montana before, I'd only been to western Montana, and I can't tell you how disappointed I was in Glendive. gonna admit, I'm out of shape after 3 years in Florida. This kicked my butt. I hiked up from the rest area because they have this nice little trail. I'm gonna go ahead and try to make it up to the top. But man, it's gonna take some work for me to get back in shape. 3 years of doing nothing but hiding because you're allergic to a place makes it hard. Whew. But boy, do I like being back in these mountains. Oh my God, look over here. That's I-94. Woo! First good hike. 3 years. It's kicking my butt. Oh, there's a river. Let's get on up here. Those who keep wondering get rewarded. See if I can get you zoomed in. I don't know. This isn't as good an angle. We'll have to maybe back down. Let's see. Whew. Still a little bit of a path. Let's see if I can see anything. I can't see the river now. Oh, there it is. See if I can get you. Or maybe it's a highway. I don't know what I'm seeing. So the plan when I got to Montana, I had been to car camp, but I really didn't realize it got like as hot as it was when I got here. It had been 100 degrees and it ran 90 to 100 degree range while I was here. So I got a hotel. I was good for a few days. Then I had to switch hotels because Great Falls was that busy that time of year and all the hotels were jam-packed. Anyway, I got here and it felt like home. I knew it was home. It wasn't like Glendive, which I was very disappointed in. Miles City was a little strange. Billings just didn't feel like it was it. It was too big. And it is the largest city in Montana, granted, even with just its 100,000 people. I got to Great Falls and I just felt like home. It was amazing. The thing is last year the housing market was really tough here, and we'd make an offer, and there'd be multiple offers, cash offers, 24 hours. We'd be outbid, and it was tough. I mean, I was getting frustrated. Anyway, the last day I was here, I had some free time, and then I was supposed to look at another house the next morning. And so I went out to Giant Springs Park, and it's really beautiful. There's a separate video for that, so I'm putting it up today too. So please go ahead and click the link and check it out as well if you're interested in seeing Giant Springs. And then I went out to Ryan's Dam, and it was out in the middle of nowhere, and that's where I cleaned out my car because it was really packed. It's a car camper. My husband built me a bed with some drawers to pull out and stuff like that. Got my kitchen in there and everything. So it was really, really packed and a mess. I mean, I couldn't have got someone else in the car if I wanted to. But anyway, I cleaned it up. I left my passenger area empty so it had plenty of room for, whatever I wanted to be able to get in and out of the car as I went somewhere else and looked, because things weren't looking good here. And just make it easier for me as I was traveling back home. And so was the most space I'd had in the car since before I left Florida. And so anyway, I got all that situated, and then I came back to town and I got me some dinner, and I decided I wanted to go down to the river. And this is where the universe gave me words. Yep, you guessed it. I had a great fall. The universe was screaming at me, "Yo, you already said it. You're home. Great Falls it is." So I guess it was good that I had already asked where the hospital was, though I still was going to need to map it. I haven't really learned Great Falls yet at this time. At least I knew it's the name of the hospital. So at the time I fell, it was dust, so I kept my peace of mind. And I found my keys before standing up so that I'd have a general idea of where they were in my phone. I knew immediately my arm was broke, so there was really no doubts in that. Anyways, I found my keys and my phone. And once I found him, I managed to stand up and get myself back up the hill and into the car. It was really hurting. I looked and I was like, I got to get my watch off. So I got my watch off. I don't know how I had the peace of mind to think that. And I raised my ring up. I got on my phone and asked Siri, map me the hospital so I didn't have to really do anything. And I got my car started and seatbelt on. And drove myself to the hospital. And when I got there, they helped me get my wedding ring the rest of the way off and said it was smart that I did what I did. And yep, it was broke. And I said, well, you can't give me any painkillers when you said it because I got to drive myself to the hotel. I got my car. I'm here alone. I'm looking for a home, blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, so that's why you saw that Chinese torture device that my fingers were hanging from that, Anyway, so that's part of what that was about. And that really hurt to see. So I got it set and everything. And, I got some painkillers to take for when I got back to the hotel, and I'm thinking, if the heat wasn't stopping me for car camping, now it would be virtually impossible because the car doesn't have that much height, and I don't know how I'd have maneuvered in and out with my arm, but anyway. So anyhow, my husband was a little panicked, wanted to help me, but that would have been a challenge because he's legally blind and he's never been able to drive and he was 2,000 miles away. So what was I going to do? Well, I happen to know that I'm really blessed with some good friends. I have multiple really good friends. But anyways, there are those people who'll just go out of the way and they'll help you and they're right there when you really need somebody. And I must say Leslie was a true blessing for me, because she wasn't even at home when I broke my arm. She was still on her way home from another place she'd went. And she was like, you need me to come up and help you, don't you, and drive you home. And I'm like, well, maybe not. Let's talk tomorrow, I can probably, you need me to come get you, don't you? And I was like, let's talk tomorrow. Anyway, she got a ticket to come help me the next day. But it was still 2 or 3 days out because she had to pack. She had just gotten home from another trip, and she lived 3 hours from the airport. So, it was a big deal. Anyway, so she flew in and helped me, and on the way back, we did some drive-by sightseeing and pretty much kept on the move. We stopped at Little Bighorn, and we did stop and see a friend of hers in Gillette, Wyoming. And we did a drive-by Devil's Tower in Deadwood. It was packed. It was, what is that weekend? Sturgis, the Harley weekend. Sturgis. And then we saw the president's head on a rock, Mount Rushmore. I was really disappointed. Not that it's not amazing, but I was actually very disappointed in it. And so, at this point, we're still several days from Florida. And we would drive through the Badlands, and then we ended up taking some dirt road across South Dakota on the Indian reservation that we were on for hours. Then the hotel we got, we had to turn the water on and off for the toilet to flush because, it was the only thing around. So it was interesting. And then it was in Missouri where the dragon flew over us. And we were going down the freeway, and all of a sudden there was this dark shadow over us. I don't know if it was a plane or what it was, but it was very strange. And anyways, we're gamers, and we were talking about the dragon because we had already been talking about how Leslie was on her rescue mission to rescue Lori. And so, So anyway, that night we stopped somewhere, I don't know, fairly far north in Missouri. And then the next day we got to Metropolis, Illinois, the home of Superman. And we'd have one more night on the road after that when Leslie actually got us a fancy hotel in northern Alabama. It was really sweet and really kind of her. And then she's so amazing that she came back to Florida from Arizona and helped me drive my dogs. She actually met me in Illinois, but that was so I could stop and see family. But anyway, she helped me get my dogs back to Montana because it had surgery and still wasn't supposed to lift. And she was just an amazing friend like that. But anyway, enjoy whatever is left of the video. And if you're curious, there's a separate one up for Giant Springs Park. I'll post a link. Or check out my Northern Lights videos. Thank you. Thanks for watching.